This final stage involves fine-tuning some text, and as we start to change the text, we want to be able to track any changes that are made. This comes in handy if you're working on a newspaper or a magazine and you want to be able to see what the editor and the worker has done on it, and so it gives you the ability to track any of the changes that are necessary. To set this up, we're going to go to page 1 of our document, grab our type tool, and let's place our insertion point right here on this first paragraph. Anywhere inside of it should work out. Next, we're going to go up to Type and down to Track Changes, and we want to enable tracking in all stories. With it turned on, let's also open up the preferences. So we'll go up to our Preferences panel under InDesign, Preferences, and choose Track Changes. This is where we can set the color and what we want to actually be tracked. In our case, we want to make sure deleted text, added text, and also include deleted text with spell checking is checked on. In this case it is. But the only change I do want to make is the marking for added text should be underlined. Everything else looks good. Oh, I do see one change under deleted text. We're going to change that from orange to, let's choose a reddish color. That way we can tell the difference between those two. Now we can say OK, and any changes that we make from here are going to be done. The first thing we're going to do is to find and change any of the text that's part of this. Now this is going to seem confusing, but the book is going to have you open up two documents. We've got our Boulevard document open, but we also want to open up that Invitation InDesign document. So let's go to the links, click on this Invitation InDesign document, and then open Edit Original. This way you've got both of these documents open, and whenever we do find and replace or to change the text, it's going to look at both of those documents that should still be open. I've clicked back on my Boulevard InDesign document, and this is where we'll continue working from. I've got my type tool selected. I've got my insertion point right here at the beginning. Now I can go up to Edit and Find and Change. And the first thing that's going to ask us to find is downtown Lancaster. Do make sure you spell it correctly. Everywhere it says this word, we want to change that to the BLVD, the Boulevard. Under the search menu, we don't just want to search within this story, we want to search all of the documents that are opened. Next, we can do Find Next, and it will go through our document and highlight any area that it uses the word downtown Lancaster. If we hit Change and Find Again, it'll change it up and then go and look for the next one. If I click Change All, it'll find all 6 instances of this actually happening. Once it's done, we can say OK to that, and that changes up everything for that one. We can then hit the Done, and let's save this document. So we'll go to File and Save. Let's also go to the Invitation InDesign document and go to File and save that one as well. Just remember to go back to the Boulevard InDesign document to continue on. The other fun thing you can do is to change the text formatting within a document. If we go back up to Edit, let's do Find and Change again. This time we want to delete away all of the stuff that's in the Find What and Change To fields. Under the Find What, we really want to find anything that has a certain way of formatting, a certain attribute. So to find any particular character, click on the little @ symbol, and we'll go down to Wildcards and choose any character. Next, to find a particular format, if you don't see the More Options down here, you can click on the word More Options and it'll show up. Choose the little Type Specify Attributes to Find tool under the Find Format right here. And we want to change a character's color. So choose Character Color that has the Pantone color of 7554. We'll say OK to that. And we want to change this to, so click on the Change Format, Specify Attributes. Change that character's color to be the lighter 87.5 and say OK to that. So here's what we've set up. It's going to look for any character and that has the Pantone color of 7554. and it's going to change that character to the Pantone color of 875. When we hit change all, it'll go through and find 5 different instances of that. We'll say OK. And just to make sure we don't make the same mistake again, let's go ahead and delete everything from the find what, and also trash away the formatting, change, and find options as well. So there's nothing in both of those. With that done, let's go up to File and Save and continue on. The last thing we're going to find and change are object attributes. With both of the 2 documents still already opened, and the Find and Change dialog box still open, let's go to the Object tab at the top of it. Under the Search, go from Selection to All Documents down at the bottom, and under Type, choose All Frames. We want to find any object that has a stroke that uses that 7554 Pantone. So choose the object, and in this case, click on the word stroke, select 7554, and then we'll say OK to that. And we want to change that object to the new Pantone. So change its stroke to be the new 875, and we'll say OK to that. Now when we do change all, you'll notice that it finds 6 objects and makes 6 replacements. We'll say OK to that as well. As with the other one, make sure to trash anything that you're finding and changing to so it doesn't affect your next thing. We can hit done and continue on. Now let's check our document's spelling. We're going to go up to the Preferences, so InDesign and Preferences, and open up our dictionary. You can choose different kinds of dictionaries to pull from, and these are just different text files that have things already preloaded into our document. So make sure the language of English USA is selected, and we'll say OK to that. Next, we can go under Edit, Spelling, and then choose User Dictionary. The User Dictionary allows you to add selected words or specific words to the dictionary and add on to what's already there. Sometimes you'll have words that you use over and over again that are technically misspelled because they're not in an existing dictionary, but you want to add them so that it doesn't flag those as misspelled words. In our case, we want to add the word boulevard, BLVD. So under the word word, type in BLVD, because this is a word that we want to overlook in our particular document. With it typed, you can hit add. Now you've added that to your own user dictionary under the English language. One thing I forgot to do was to turn on case sensitive. You can see when you add BLVD, by default it keeps it lowercase. Now if I add it again, I've got an uppercase version that'll also overlook. Now that we're done with that, we can hit done. Let's go up to Edit, Spelling, and let's actually check the spelling. This is going to go through and look at all instances of our word to make sure that it's there or not, or if we should skip over it. One of the first things we should check on is that it's searching all the documents. If you click the dictionary button, this way we can choose the Boulevard document that we're using. So in our case, the Boulevard InDesign document is what we're going to target. We can then click Done. And you can see it's starting to find things like Boulevards '*s. If this is one that we want to skip, we can click Skip, and it'll go to the next page. We'll go back up to Start. Now I can see I've already made a slight error, so I'm going to hit Done. I've had my cursor at the wrong spot. Let me go back up to the very beginning. Place my cursor next to the word big. Now let's go up to Edit, Spelling, and start checking spelling from here. Now it's actually going okay. So streetscapes is actually an okay word, so we're going to keep this one. So we'll hit skip for that one. The next word that follows along with the book is rambulas. This is a word we do want to add to our dictionary. So we can click the word add, and it will add it, and we'll skip over that from without. In this case, we've got the word swith, and it should be the word with. And so we can choose the word with, and we'll hit change, but it should be venues with. So I'm actually going to add the S right there, at the end of venues with. Now we can click Start again and continue on. With trendsetters, in this case we want to ignore all cases of trendsetters. And I'm going to skip streetscapes as well. For boulevards, every time it runs into this word, I'm just going to ignore all of those. Entrepreneurial was misspelled, so I'm going to choose entrepreneurial there, and we'll change. Spamalot, we're going to ignore all. Artifacts, we're going to change to artifacts, and change that. For pricks, we're going to ignore all. For boulevard, we're going to add that to the user-defined thing, so we'll hit add. For Christmas market, we'll also add that to our dictionary. For environment, it's been misspelled, so we're going to change that one. For Lancaster Boulevard, we're going to ignore all of those. And finally, .com, we're going to ignore all of those. That should reach you to the end of the spell checking. We can hit done. Let's go up to File and save this one. Notice that this also picked up the invitation, so let's jump back over to our Boulevard document, go up to File and save that as well. Now let's review any changes that we've made to our entire document. With the Boulevard document open and our type tools selected, let's place our insertion point right at the very beginning of our first paragraph and go to Edit and Edit Story and Editor. You can see from here all of the different changes have been highlighted in different colors, and we'll give you a strike through and we'll show you what changes have been made. Along with this, we need to open our Track Changes panel. So we can go to Window, Editorial, and choose Track Changes. This will allow us to advance back and forth through all of the different changes that have been made within our document. We're going to click the Next Change button, and this will bring up the change that's been made. And if we need to reject a change that's been made, we can click on the little X, that'll reject that. Then we can click the next change and it'll go through each one of these. And we can reject that particular change as well. Those are really the only two changes that have been made, so we're going to accept all of these by hitting the double check and saying, are you sure? We'll say okay to that and continue on. If we click the next change button again, this will go to the next part that's been changed. We're going to accept all of these as well. We'll say okay to that. And those were the only changes that needed to be associated. We can close out our story editor and our track changes for both of those. Let's save up the files that we have and continue on and finish up this exercise. So hit save. Get in here, we'll go to File. It's already saved. Back to our Boulevard document. To export a color managed PDF file. With this document open, let's go up to View and preview the setup. Under Proof Setup and choose Working CMYK. Then we can go to View and actually proof the colors, turning it off. You can navigate through each of the different pages and kind of see the differences between the two. So back up to View, proof the colors. You can see how different it would be from one page or the next, or any issues that may come up with this one. In our case, I think we're actually okay. So let's go to View, turn off Preview or Proof Colors. Let's go up to File and down to Export. From here, this is where we can export and actually create a PDF. I'm going to give it the name of Boulevard Print and add your name to it. PDF. The format will be an Adobe PDF. Make sure it's the print version of it. We'll say Save. The PDF preset type that we want will be a press quality PDF. Under the Marks and Bleeds options, make sure you turn on all printer's marks. And we're going to set the offset of this to be 0.125. Finally, make sure you're using your document's bleed settings to turn on the bleed marks. Under the output settings, make sure Convert to Destination has been selected. We don't want to preserve the numbers. Under the color conversion, to include a profile for its destination once it's finished. If we open up our ink manager, this will allow us to say what inks are necessary for this particular document. In our case, we want to convert any use of this Pantone 7554 to a CMYK. So I'm going to click once on it, and you can see it turns into a CMYK icon. Also, we want to add all spots to process, and that will automatically do that. Or I can uncheck it. You can see only that one will be changed to that one. Actually, we need to leave that one just the way it is. Once we're done, we can say OK to that. And then we'll say export to create our PDF. This should save a PDF on your computer. In my case, it was saved into that downtown folder, so we can go back to our desktop. This PDF is what you're going to upload to Moodle once you're finished. You do not need to upload the Boulevard InDesign document or any of the links, just that PDF is what I'll be looking for. And with that, we've finished up the final 10th project for all of the book projects.